You hit the revenue number you thought was going to make you happy, but now somehow you're more stressed than you ever have been before. Your team pings you with questions that honestly you shouldn't be answering, and they should already know these answers. When you assign work out to your team, it comes back to you just wrong, and now you have to spend time to fix it. Things slip through the cracks all the time, and a really good client of yours actually just decided that they're not going to renew this month, and you're pretty sure you know why they aren't going to renew this month. So if you're sitting there wondering how you can be so successful, more successful than you ever have been in your entire life, and be so stressed, it's like one word or two words: capacity issues. Last year, one of our clients was going through the exact same thing. They were a massive company. They had 175 partners, 1,500 brands that they have worked with. When you look at them from the outside, they were absolutely crushing it. And in a lot of ways, they totally were. But the founder was like the most stressed out person in the entire building. She was handling everything, and it was genuinely just burning her soul out. In fact, I actually saw photos of her before she started the business, and the glow it was tough. And here's the thing, they did not have a lead generation problem. In fact, they had more people wanting to work with them than they could actually handle. And if she did take them on, the business would have definitely broken. So the fix was absolutely not more marketing, which is what a lot of people think the fix is for some crazy reason. She needed infrastructure and to completely revamp the project management tool that they were using. And she also needed to find a real good way to fight against scope creep. If you don't know what scope creep is, it's when you settle on a scope of work with a client and then you close them and you start working with them and they go, hey, can you also do this? Like, hey, can you also do this thing that I know is probably going to take you like 10 hours, but maybe you can include it with my package anyways? That's called scope creep. And the second that we installed systems to combat all of that, their revenue literally tripled. And we never had to touch their lead generation or their marketing. They just suddenly had, well, suddenly is a fun word because we did that on purpose, but they suddenly had all of the capacity in the world to take on all of those clients that were just waiting at the door, who already wanted to work with them in the first place. Now, here's the thing that you need to understand about your situation. You are currently in something called fix mode, and it's part of what's called the revenue cycles. Every company in the entire world is somewhere within this cycle, and not knowing which one you are in is usually what is causing like 90% of your headaches. Because most companies want to be in grow. Grow is where you get more clients. But if you're in fix mode, you just came out of grow mode. If everything feels like it's falling apart right now, it just means that you've outgrown your current systems, the systems that brought you through grow mode. You probably don't have the right tools, you probably don't have the right processes, and your team is struggling because everything has evolved and they're just coming to you with everything now. That is the byproduct of growing. That does not mean you have failed as a business owner, because you grew the revenue and right now you need to build the infrastructure that will actually allow you to hold this new level of capacity. So today we're going to talk about the 4 components that you need to build systems. Systems are made up of automation, tools, hiring, if necessary, and processes. And building a system for each one of your problems will make your life easier, guaranteed. If you build those systems, your team will stop coming to you for silly things, and you can just stop being a human answering machine. Let's go through all 4 components. The first component is tools, and you almost certainly already have these. Slack, Notion, whatever you're using. But here's what nobody tells you. A tool itself is not a system. They are just places where work lives. A lot of people think that it is a system because they promote themselves like that. But without a documented process that shows your team how this tool is actually supposed to be used for your business, it is not a system. First and foremost, when it comes down to tools, you need to make sure that your tool is actually scalable with your business. Think about the high-level client that you just closed. They're bigger than any of the other clients that you've ever had. Will stuff get lost in this tool because of how big they are and how much information they contain? If things will get lost, then you should it's time to upgrade. Not necessarily your tool, like find another tool, but like make your tool better. And then second is you need clear guidance for your team so they know how to use this tool. Otherwise, this tool will do more harm than good. It's going to cause a ton of confusion. And again, like I mentioned, you're going to waste your money, you're going to waste your time because your team's not going to use it. Here's a real example. The client that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, one of the 2 of their biggest problems was tools. The project management tool that they were using, only one person was using. It was the founder. And that wasn't serving anybody, not the clients, not the team. It was also so messy that nobody wanted to show the client what the tool looked like or what the progress of their project was at, because it was just so messy. So then it started to force the team to work around the tool and not have the tool work for them. So we did a custom Notion project management tool, tailored to the team, tailored to their clients, visible to their clients as well. And then we built the guidance, we call them SOPs, that'll actually teach their team how to use this new project management tool that we built out for them, so that way they'd actually use it. And of course, their productivity went through the roof, their capacity increased, and then they were able to take on more clients. Yeah. We'll talk more about SOPs in a sec. The second component is people. If you were previously working with like 6 to 8 clients and you suddenly double or triple your client load, you are almost always gonna need more people. In the case that I described, it was a project manager. And that one role completely freed up the founder's capacity because suddenly there was a person whose job was to actually manage these clients, manage the project management tool, manage the contractors, manage the rest of the team, instead of all of the questions going back to the founder, who was honestly much suited to do other things. After this new project manager was hired, there was an onboarding process that we created, and there was a training process. After that, everybody knew where things were. The whole team got super productive, like pretty much in the first 2 weeks, and when somebody needed something on the team, the project manager was on it. But hiring the right person is really only half of it. Like I mentioned earlier, you really do have to onboard them correctly. What that means is you need to be prepared for anything that can go wrong, and you need to create like some sort of document that's almost like a self-guided training for them, because you certainly don't have the time to do all the training. A lot of companies hire fantastic talent, onboard them poorly, and then have to fire this person. Huge waste of money. And then they go, oh, I wonder why this person isn't performing. They look so good on paper. Extreme ownership. As a leader, you should always blame yourself first. When it comes down to onboarding a new hire, there's really 2 things that you cannot mess up on. Absolutely not. Number 1 is having a good, solid onboarding system. Number 2 is having SOPs to show them how to do their job already in place. For you, the missing rule could be different. The point is the same. If you've taken on a boatload of more clients, then you've outgrown the amount of staff that you need to be able to confidently fulfill for your clients. The third component is automations. Automations looks really different in 2026 because of Claude and other AI tools, but I'll just talk about it from my experience from doing automations and using automations for a long time. There are a lot of manual tasks that are eating up your team's time that should have been automated like probably months ago. Your follow-ups, your lead organization, project management tool notifications. Like for example, if you complete a task, it should probably notify the person that needs to know that you completed the task automatically. All the repetitive work that a human is doing right now should probably be automated. Sorry, babes. There's now so much tech out there that allow you and your team to save so much time. With the right automations in place, your team of 2 could work like a team of 8. Here are a few examples of automations that you should make. If you are still manually onboarding your clients, you are wasting time, and you're also hella risking your client retention, especially right now. If you're closing like more than 1 client a week, you should probably have this automated so that way it's consistently impressing your new clients. You can automate like 95% of your onboarding, lead follow-up, assigning tasks to your team. All of that can be totally automated. Spend less time on like the nitty-gritty things and just spend time on the things that actually need your attention. And it's the same for your team, because you shouldn't only focus on freeing up your time, you should most definitely see if you can help your team. How can you make their job easier? There are so many things that they're doing right now manually that you can totally get an automation to take care of. So that way they can actually spend their time on work that requires a real human. But also, like, you don't know what you don't know, which is also why we recommend our free trial. Component 4 is SOPs. And I personally think this is the most important one. This is actually my personal fave. I know you might be rolling your eyes right now. Stop yourself. This is like the most important part of your business. It literally makes everything work. You can like go to the ends of the earth. There's no ends of the earth is round. And you can find all of the best talent in the entire world, and you can hire the very, very best, and they could still fail if you don't have SOPs. If you hire somebody and you don't have clear onboarding prepared for them and clear SOPs prepared for them, don't hire them. You're not ready. If they don't know what you expect from them and what success looks like in their role, they're gonna flop. And you can have the best tools in the world, but if your team doesn't know how to use these tools and won't actually use these tools, you're wasting so much money and your team is still unorganized. And things are still getting lost, and you're still missing deadlines, and you're probably going to churn clients. SOPs are what allow you as a founder or senior leadership to actually take a step back and work on things that only you can do. It makes your team literally capable. Here are some components that should be in a good SOP, and I mean a good SOP. Don't be half-assing that shit. It has to have all of the links necessary for this person to complete this task. You gotta define what completed looks like. It's super important, because if it's not defined, then when is this task actually done? You have to embed ownership in it. What is this person in charge of? Do they have the authority to make decisions about this task? If they're not doing this task, will anyone else be doing this task? Will it be solely their responsibility? Be specific. You also got to write down some troubleshooting tips for them, like a checklist that they can go through before they reach out to anybody for help. And then of course, the best part for every SOP is a section called when to escalate this. And then you write down the worst case scenarios that could possibly happen for someone to have to reach out to you about this very mundane task. Build SOPs for things that you do frequently that require a bit of judgment, and your life will be exponentially better. Trust me on this, I've done this myself. If you don't remember anything from this video or you weren't really paying attention, here's the one line that I do want you to remember. Most people and most companies only care about like one or two of these components that build a very great system, and they see these components as completely separate things. But the important thing to remember is that components have to work together, and you gotta have pretty much all of it. The one component that people seem to gravitate a lot towards buying singularly on their own is tools. Because buying software feels like progress. You're tricking yourself. Things will not actually get better after you buy that software. Again, a system only works when all four are present and they are working together. They have to all be pointed in the same direction, and if you skip a step, then it's just nothing's gonna change. Here's the payoff. You're gonna be less annoyed in the mornings. Your team is not gonna need you for everything. Your delivery will still be very, very good. In fact, probably better. Your clients will stop churning. You'll have more room to take on even more clients, and you'll be able to go back to loving your business again and working on the business and not in it. I mentioned my 7-day free trial earlier in this video. So if you're a company that just got out of grow mode and you're now in fix mode, or you feel like your company's kind of breaking, then you're totally gonna love our free trial. We'll come in, we'll identify 1 to 2 brutal bottlenecks that are absolutely wrecking your business right now or holding back your revenue, even worse, and then we'll solve them live and in front of you. Crazy, right? We're talking automations, we're talking SOPs, planning which tool you should buy and if you should buy a new tool. No credit card, no contract, no nothing. Everything we build with you, you get to keep 100%. Worst case scenario, you walk away from the free trial knowing what you're missing in your business. Best case scenario, you unblock your revenue and you start loving your business again and you feel way less stressed. The link to more details about our free trial is in the description below. My name is Brandie Wong. I'm the founder of Totally Branded. We're an embedded operations team built like co-founders. We scale client acquisition, fix broken systems, and build missing systems so you can grow fearlessly. My socials are somewhere on the screen. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!